Ooh, that's such a nice kick. Mix your sake with whiskey. That was wonderful.
Speak for yourself, man.
Hey everybody, I'm Philip.
And I'm Justin.
And together we are Pajamas. Welcome to episode 3 of Inebriated Questions. What that is we pick out a certain liquor, alcoholic beverage, and we take shots while asking each other questions after every shot. Episode 1, we started with a bang with 190 proof Everclear. Episode 2, we had some sake. Not the sake we wanted, but the liquor store only carried.
It was the only sake that was available. So it was that or no sake.
Exactly. Episode 3, we are going to have some Spirit of Dublin Teeling Irish whiskey.
Something that I think that you will like since it's whiskey.
I'm really excited to try this. I'm sorry for any weird noises. My glands are acting up. I'm not going to try and read this small writing because I'm old. But we'll pretend it says awesome things. This is 46% alcohol per volume, so not bad. And as always, we break the seal on camera, purposes of
authenticity, that we haven't cheated by drinking it first, seeing how we like it, and then decide whether or not to have it in the video.
Or pouring tea into the bottle or something weird. So yes, we are going to start episode 3. This is fancy. I'm going to drink all my water before I even have a chance to take shots. But normally I take my shots straight. Like my shots like I like my men.
I see that you may need to have a new prescription.
Oh. It smells kind of like a sweeter. Like the whiskey we usually get is very pow right in the kisser.
I do smell the sweetness.
Yeah, it's very aromatic. The rules are, we take our shot, and we ask each other questions. Also, we have no idea what the other one is going to ask. We compile questions on our own. So it's kind of fun little game. As always, beauty for poor age.
Thank you.
All right, so here we go. First time having Irish whiskey. We like to keep the inebriated questions a time of firsts. Like the last time was my first time having sake ever. So first time having Irish whiskey.
It's the first time that, at least to my awareness, I've had one.
Kanpai.
Kanpai. As we drink Irish whiskey.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
It's powerful.
I like that. Oh.
It is powerful.
The whiskey I usually drink has a kick to it. This feels like a little spicy waterfalls going down your throat. But the waterfall is just spicy on the edges.
I do sense a flavorful aftertaste.
Yeah. It burns.
But in a good way.
Well, I think the other whiskey burns in a good way too.
Yes, but it's not like needles or a knife going through the esophagus.
Yeah, that one feels more like a knife. This more feels like I guess little tiny nails.
Or maybe extremely soft sandpaper.
But just on the edges. Mm-hmm. It's just on the edges. It's not like, oh my god, this hurts. It's just like, ooh. It just goes down like this. That is lovely. That is really nice. I like that a lot.
A gentle scratch.
Yeah, it's like 2 scratches, not a big scar.
Mm-hmm. It's the best analogy that
I can make it's make of that what you will. All right, go ahead with your question.
Of course, the best way to figure out exactly what we're trying to talk about is to actually drink it yourselves.
I highly recommend it. It's very good. I'm excited to have another shot.
If you could play any instrument, then what would it be? What is your favorite instrument? And would that be the one that you would like to play?
Man, I don't think I have a favorite instrument. I like piano. I like violin. I like cello. I like guitar, both acoustic and electric. I don't know if I can pick one. I like a lot of instruments.
How about one that you would like to learn how to play someday?
If I could learn any instrument?
Yes. Before you die, you get to have one instrument that you can successfully learn how to play, but it can only be one.
Oh, man. It's between piano and guitar. I think if I knew the chords and everything, which I know you can learn. I'm musically illiterate. If I could learn that, then that'd be cool. But I love the sound of a piano. I've always wanted to be able to play Für Elise. I think it's beautiful. I do have a guitar. My friend has my guitar. So Megan, darling, I love you, but if we could make arrangements to get my guitar back to me. I know last year was crazy with the whole pandemic and there's the awfulness going around. I don't even know if she watches the videos, but call me. Please, I want my guitar back. It was an expensive guitar. But when I was a kid, little story time, I was always put little stories in for my childhood. When I was a kid, I wanted to play saxophone.
The jazz instrument.
And I almost joined band. But I think we had to supply our own instruments. And my mom wouldn't buy me a saxophone because, other things were more important. So, it's one of my what ifs. Like, what if I had started playing saxophone and been in band and then was just in band? Like, I think my life would have been vastly different. It's like band and then drama. But band would have been from like third grade. So if I joined band in third grade, how different would my life have been as far as like social life and having real friends? And, because when you're in band and stuff like that, you're in a clique. Mm-hmm. So something to think about. When my years, especially my high school years, would they've been different. But yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Band in high school, though, you would have had to have marched in games, and, well, it can be very hot sometimes, the weather. So actually, maybe picking between drama or band, I personally would have picked drama.
Oh, I didn't think of drama until I was already in high school.
For me, it was 4th grade that you could get into orchestra, then 5th grade one could get into band.
Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of orchestra. I don't know. I'm thinking
maybe it's a regional thing.
Maybe. It was a long time ago. This is kind of appropriate as of late. What's your favorite and least favorite cereal?
Oh. Historically, I would say that my favorite would probably be the one that I coveted the most because, well, I would eat so much of it, so my parents stopped buying it because because I kept on eating the whole box by the end. Well, say that it was bought yesterday.
Right.
And I had it in the morning. The whole box would be gone by the afternoon.
Wow.
That was Fruity Pebbles.
Solid choice.
As for my least favorite, I suppose that it would be the blandest and plainest one, so I suppose it would be anything with chocolate in it.
Really?
Yes.
So you didn't like Cocoa Pebbles?
Oh no, I did not like those.
Okay.
Nor that, nor Cocoa Puffs.
I didn't like it.
I don't like
those.
those.
I don't like those either.
And there was also that one with the bear.
I think Cocoa Pebbles were the only chocolate cereal I could stand. Well, no. Count Chocula is a chocolatey cereal. That was really good.
I was not a big fan of things that were chocolatey. I remember, you probably remember those Neapolitan ice creams that come in vanilla and strawberry and chocolate. I would constantly eat the vanilla and the strawberry and chocolate. Oh, my dad can have that. I didn't even like chocolate milk, and I still don't.
Wow. All right, fair enough.
There's something about chocolate that it's too bitter for me. It needs to be mixed with something like peanut butter.
What about, like, European chocolate?
That one I can also do because it's sweetened.
Well, let's go on to question number 2. But before we do that, shot number 2. Also, as you can see, it's daytime. It's dawn. Cars are driving by. We like to do this as close to bedtime as possible.
Yes, that way if we ever need to pass out, well, it's bedtime anyway, so we would already be heading to the correct place.
Exactly.
I remember saying how much I disliked chocolate by itself, and some people would wish that they would have my tongue so that they could stop having chocolate. It would make it easier for them to diet and things like that. But then I would think, no, because in exchange for that, you're going to have an affinity towards sugar itself. I do. When I would come home, especially during middle school, I would sometimes go to the sugar bowl and simply have a spoon of sugar.
Kampai. Or slosha.
I don't know any Irish.
Slosha? Something like that? I don't know. I tried.
I've studied many languages, but Irish isn't one of them, I'm afraid. Nothing against the Irish, it simply wasn't in my interest.
Oh, that goes down so nice. It's like smooth and prickly at the same time. All right. Question 2.
I pretty much have an idea of this, but I want to know the details.
Ooh, okay.
What is your ideal house? How would you want your house to look? If you had all of the money that you could ever want, and you're designing the house, the architects are waiting for you to say what you want, and you need to describe to them what it is that you want.
Right.
It can be as big, as little, it can be anywhere in the world, it can be in any climate. That's in reality, I'm afraid, so it cannot be a place of eternal autumn. If there is such a place as this Shangri-La where there's eternal autumn, then please comment below.
Right. So that's hard to... Because once you said it had, like, money was no object, that changes it then, because then I can't really answer that, because I would just let my mind go crazy. I would make like this just.
Well, for example, do you want a stairway or do you want it to be a bungalow? Do you want it to have towers?
Well, yeah. Of course I want towers.
I suppose that should be expected. I mean, who doesn't want towers?
Exactly, yeah. Like, there's houses in this town that have towers. I've always wanted to go inside the house and just climb up the tower. If I was within the like if I was in the city, give me like a Chicago-style loft apartment. If I'm in the country, give me like the Babadook house.
That probably would give an idea of what color you want the house to be.
Oh, it's going to be dark tones. Dark tones. I don't like light.
So obviously you wouldn't want to have a house that's painted white, for example.
No, yuck. Blacks and grays, please.
Yes, you're living in a house, not a hospital.
Yeah, like that. I don't like that light. These lights, we tolerate them.
We have to, otherwise we cannot even do these videos.
Yeah.
We have no choice. We have to make peace with them. You don't bother us, we don't bother you, lights.
Yeah, there you go. Even in my living spaces, I never use overhead lights. You've noticed that? Mm-hmm. I put my own lighting in every single room. So even then, it'd be very lighting focused. The house would be, with everything would be very like purposeful. Like as far as like decor, doesn't matter as much to me. But the color scheme and the lighting it'd be a mixture of like old fashioned and steampunk and like pipes and.
That was going to be my next question.
Like a mason jar chandelier, just.
Yes, my next question was going to be something like, do you want it to be made of brick or stone? Or...
Oh, yeah, definitely brick or stone. Yeah. With a very solid foundation so that no bugs can get inside. It would be a fortress with a tower.
A fortress that isn't afraid to call itself a fortress.
There you go.
You even have your own tower to look out and...
judge everyone.
Yes.
All right. What do you wish you were better at? It's like you have a little fuzzy in your hair. In case you didn't notice, we turn everything off before we film. I forgot to put the sun picture up.
One thing that I do wish that I were I were better at would be being able to read people. For example, you seem to be able to know a person by simple, subtle cues, whereas, as you know, I actually probably neurologically cannot do.
Right, yeah.
But I do see how it would be very useful in being able to pick one's friends and enemies and ones to put to the side of, I haven't decided yet, I'll figure that out later when I get to know this person more.
Yeah. Even when we've encountered people that I like or don't like, I can tell you why. Like, I can pinpoint the reasons why. So then it's like helping you to see what I see. And the people will remain nameless, of course.
Some of whom we have had the pleasure of never seeing again.
Yep, and for good reason.
I do know that first impressions can be misleading, so I would take that into consideration. That it may have simply been a bad first impression, or maybe this person, conversely, was making themselves out to be more than they really are.
Yeah.
But you seem to be very good at being able to read people. And even knowing things that about the person that it would have actually taken me longer to figure that out, because I would have had to have looked at their behavior instead of simply how they talk.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The CIA could actually use you in being able to read people.
Not that good.
Yes, I know, you're too honest.
Not that good. I don't judge with discrimination. I'm not looking at someone with prejudice. In meeting, when I met her, I knew immediately. Just by listening to them talk, watching how they acted, watching how they treated people, I knew they were just a selfish nightmare of a person. And I've been proven right over and over and over and over and over.
And which of those three would you say is the most reliable of the three when you judge a person? The way that they treat other people, or the way that they behave, or the way that they talk, or...
It varies from person to person. The giveaway to me was watching them treat people the way they did when no one was looking. And I have people in my family, because I'm not afraid to talk about this shit. They disrespect me and we disrespect you back. Like, you give respect to get respect in my world. And if you disrespect me, well, fuck you too. I've met a lot of bad actors and actresses in my life. And the worst ones are the people that show their true face when no one's looking because they think no one's looking. I'm looking. So when you're giving me the side eye, when you are rolling your eyes at me, when you're making a dirty face, when the tone of your voice changes because you're trying to be a little dick, I pick up on it. And you wonder why I don't talk to you. If it means distancing myself from people I love because they can't see through it, or maybe once upon a time they could and choose not to now because they settled, that's on y'all. I'd rather be happy in my agoraphobic kingdom with people that I care about, that care about me. I don't have time for it.
With people that actually do care about you instead of people that simply say that they do, and then when you actually need them, all of a sudden they're unavailable.
Well, no.
Or when you're having a bad time.
Yeah. When I have a bad time and they can't think outside themselves, there's no empathy, that kind of thing. But if I needed something, these people would be there. So, I mean, that's where that part kicks in, the family or the friendship or whatever tier you're at with it. If I needed something, they would be on the phone. It would come with a price. And so, yeah, but we'll leave it at that. I don't want to talk about that anymore.
There's a term for that. It's called sunshine friends. They're there only when everything is fine, but then when there's something that's inconveniencing them, all of a sudden they've disappeared.
Yeah, I know a lot of those. I mean, look how many people talk to me after I stopped talking to them because I was the one that was initiating the conversation. And hey, you want to hang out? Hey, we should get together. Hey, and I kind of backed off and poof, literally, like, all of them went away. So I've lamented about that in other videos, that there's something wrong with me and it's my fault and all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to question number 3. Because I'm getting very hot in this hoodie. I'm wearing this hoodie because I'm apparently a slob when I ate earlier. Apparently I'm a slob when I eat all the time because all my shirts are dirty.
Or you simply had the same thing while eating each of those.
We eat a lot.
That one meal.
We eat a lot of spaghetti. No complaints.
Yeah, spaghetti is delicious, and it's so easy to make.
It is.
Although I have been surprised at how limited people's ability to cook can be.
Yeah. We are only to here on the bottom. That's pretty good. Kampai.
Goodbye.
Slosha.
Insert Irish word for cheers here.
Oh, this is a bar whiskey. It's nice. It's very and we're having it warm. You usually don't like warm liquor.
Yes.
And yeah, this is
somehow this is good enough to withstand room temperature. Usually
extreme room temperature because it's freaking 1,000,000 degrees American.
Usually it would have to be something like red wine in order for it to be delicious while at the same time being room temperature, but everything else needs to be cold.
Yeah. Question number 3.
This is a bit of a long one, but it's only because there could be 2 possible answers.
Okay.
Was there a film that seriously affected you? And related to that, what is your favorite film, and are these 2 films the same? Is your favorite film the one that affected you very much the most? It really stuck to you. It's like it spoke to you. It reduced you to tears.
That's not an easy question. There's a lot because I'm such a movie file.
Well, you could probably give a top something list of your most favorite films that if you were asked...
Well, no, here's what I'll do. I'll do it throughout my life very quickly because this fat chicken is starting to get overheated. When I was 8, the first horror movie I ever saw was Children of the Corn.
Mm-hmm. That part I did know.
Yeah, that's why I'm a horror fan. That's why I got me into Stephen King. People were doing like R.L. Stine. I was full on Stephen King. Went to Clive Barker. I was a horror fan from then on.
Basically, you were playing blackjack while they were playing hopscotch.
Yeah, I guess.
To make an analogy of horror.
Then when I was 16, I was like, you know what? Nothing can faze me. I'm watching horror for 8 years now. I'm good. Then I saw the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Mm-hmm. And my vivid memory from that is I remember like lying on the bed, starting to watch it on TV. And without realizing it, when it was over, I was literally like sitting in front of the TV. That end chase scene where he's chasing her and she gets into the truck. I'm like, and it ended. I'm just like, whoa. And just that feeling. You know, I'm nearing adulthood, but when you're a teenager, when you're that age, you're cocky. You think you can conquer anything. Nothing bothers you. But to be affected like I was at that age was something special. It was really cool. Several years later, many years later, I had movies I liked and didn't like and all that stuff. But the next one that sticks out is Requiem for a Dream. I was in my 20s. I forget how old I was. That moved me to tears. Me and my ex watched it, and when it was over, we sat on the couch in silence for a good 20 minutes. We didn't talk. And we had a balcony on the outside of our apartment. I went on the balcony and just bawled my eyes out because it was just so, like, whoa. Holy crap. In the bad way, When I was living with the family, after the whole nonsense happened and I was almost homeless, the mom was going to watch a Serbian film. I said, let me watch it first. And I did. And
Possibly the most banned horror film in the world.
hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, later, I walked down the stairs. I looked at her. I was like, you don't need to watch that. And then I was just like, I guess the term now is shook. I was shook. But I was for like days. For days afterwards, I was just in my head thinking, what the fuck did I just watch? And I'm sure there are more. There's got to be plenty more. But those are the top ones off the top of my head that throughout my life, like, kind of stuck out. Have you seen the movie Titus? The adaptation of Titus Andronicus?
I don't think so.
Well, there's a scene in that it just floored me. And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And it was just so horrifically beautiful. Yeah, and that's not even like overall, that's a moment from a film. Or like Prince of Darkness. The end of that movie had me just like, whoa. It's one of my favorite movies from the 80s for that reason. Or the first time I saw The Exorcist. Whoa. Like, just all these things. Like, again, these are just off of the top of my head. There's probably so many more because I've watched so many movies. But yeah, of the big ones that impacted me in my life, those I guess would be on the list. There's other ones too, like Babadook, brought it up already. That messed with me for a few because it was just a lot deeper than people gave it credit for.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, and if you really sit inside that movie, it's a gut punch.
You actually ought to show me these other ones that I haven't seen.
You don't want to see a Serbian film.
Well, I've only heard of that one.
Yeah. No, you watch a Serbian film and be like, it was all right. Wouldn't bother you at all.
It is something that did come to my mind that it probably had that effect on you, whereas with me, I would probably think, it was all right, but where's the substance in the art? I'm still trying to look through that. And maybe if I were to actually see it instead of only people talking about it or seeing one or two screenshots of it, maybe if I were to actually see it, I could finally see what is the theme of this? What is this writer trying to say?
Okay, so maybe in the future, keep an eye out for We Just Watched Serbian film.
It doesn't.
We probably can't even do a reaction part to it unless I just blur everything.
That and also Children of the Corn. You still need to show me that one.
So there's all these older movies. I don't think you'll, because technology and we'll see. Maybe I don't know.
Technology doesn't affect me. It's all about the storytelling. You don't need fancy special effects to make a good film.
That is very true. Yep. The movie Pi. Prove that. All right, let's do one more. One more. I'm feeling pretty toasty. One more, but then I have to strip out of these clues.
And did you ask me a question?
I did not. I'm going to pour these for number 4, then I'll ask Justin the question. Question for Justin. Let's see what we got. What's the worst thing people are proud of?
Something that's admired in this society that actually should not be.
Mm-hmm.
Something that is looked up to, but such people should not be awarded. They should be punished. Yes. There's something that really does stick out, that really fits into that category.
Mm-hmm.
Buffoonery.
Buffoonery? That's such a Justin answer.
Things like, for example, you probably have thought of rednecks or stereotypical jocks and frat boys doing stupid things and thinking that it's something to brag about.
Like the show Jackass?
Yes. Why would someone want to not only brag about that, but even show it on a video for all eyes to see? And now people, whenever they would see that, they'll then see you in the street and think, oh yes, that's the person who did that.
They're also very wealthy.
But at what cost of humiliating themselves? You see, that's what I mean about something that's praised, something to be proud of. Things that stupidity should not be rewarded. It's not something to be glorified.
I'm feeling pretty good. How about you?
So am I. I feel the warm and toasty pot.
Okay, last one. I think this is going to be the last one because in video 1, I tripped over nothing and fell to the ground, got a huge bruise on my arm, skinned the crap out of my knee. Once the swelling went down on my knee is messed up now. Like, I can't walk downstairs. So, Be careful when you drink, kids. Don't drink Everclear. Don't do 5 shots of Everclear and then try and walk.
Or at least when you do, separate some time between then and going down the stairway.
No, that didn't happen until 2 weeks later when the swelling went down.
Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought it was fine. I thought it was just a skin knee with some minor swelling. And then I tried to walk you down to the door to see you off. And then I took that first step down. And a pain just shot in my kneecap.
After that, you then started limping every time, which I told you that you didn't have to go downstairs. I could lock the door behind myself, but he's a very, very good boyfriend. He will do that much to have us look at each other before saying goodbye, that I'll be all right. I'll drive carefully, I'll be careful, and of course, always the last thing that we say, in case if it is the last thing that we ever say, I love you.
Yep, every time. Kanpai.
Kanpai.
This is really, really good whiskey. Well worth the price tag. It's a little pricier than what we're used to.
And without a chaser.
Yeah, look at you.
Maybe I'm finally developing a palate. That maybe for me, it's like those things that require an acquired taste.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, question number 4. What you got?
What would you say is your best attribute? A word that perfectly describes you, something that people can or should learn from you.
Don't fuck with me. I will carve you out of my life like a fucking sous chef. No, I'm just kidding.
So toughness is your best attribute?
No, well, I mean, kinda. Resiliency.
Or being intimidating?
No, I don't think I'm intimidating. I'm short. I'm too short to be intimidating.
Height isn't everything.
Yeah, it's not. I like being short. I would not want to be tall. My best attribute? Probably my mind. Like, I hate to... I sound like such an arrogant dick, but I like being in my head. I like the way my mind works. I like that I'm a good balance of left brain and right brain. I'm not nearly as left-brained as you. That's where we balance, because I'm more right-brained.
Yes, I actually remember taking a test, and I'm actually so left-brained that it had a general scale. Mine went off the scale to the left.
Wow. Yeah, there you go. I mean, people always be like, oh, you think you're so much fucking smarter than everybody. It's not that. Like, an A, that's not an insult.
Yes, and especially if it's true. Yes, you are. And many other people. So you should probably say, thank you. How good of you to notice.
I think there's something to be said about humility. Like, I'm confident in my abilities. There's a difference between arrogance and confidence. The difference is having humility. I am confident in what my mind can do, but I also know its limitations. I'm not nearly as smart as you. Your ability to retain information, like a computer, which is a compliment, is second to none.
Take it to be.
Yeah, it's second to none. I don't have that. So I know my limitations, and I'm okay with that. Just like you know your limitations, and you're okay with that.
Well, yes.
You can't change. Well, you can change how your mind grows and adapts, but its chemical nature is kind of, there's a certain part of that is set in stone.
Yes, that's actually probably a very good way of putting it. It reminds me of a maze, for example, in which some of the walls are made of stone. You cannot go through them regardless of how hard you try.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some that you could, but it will be with some struggle because they're actually made of foliage, twigs, and things like that. Things that you could easily get through, but you'd have to probably dig your way into.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's the easy way, simply going through the pathway already set for you. And even that set pathway gives you several options. Whether you'll end at a dead end, well, that's not its problem.
Right.
It's only telling you what your options actually are.
Right. Yeah. Or you just climb to the top of the maze and then just walk your way out.
Ingenuity.
All right, let me look for a question for you. In case you didn't know, these questions are just like to get to know each other better. We've been together for over 6 years, so it's fun to find out new things about the person you're with. What's something that a lot of people are afraid of, but you're not? And while you're thinking, I'm going to pour a bonus shot. Not for any questions, just because I would like to have one. I'm feeling very toasty. I have to be careful, so you can think. I'm going to be careful. I'm clicking so much when I talk. I'm so sorry, viewers.
At first, I thought that, thinking of multiple possibilities, one would be, for example, I'm not afraid of the truth. If someone can convince me of something, then all right, convince me.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
someone who's stuck in his ways. I am traditional, but at the same time, I'm also scientifically minded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or I could say, well, then also I'm willing to face either the present or the past or the future, whereas some people like to live in a cloud of denial, whereas I don't.
Very true.
I also like to know things that actually some people may not like to know, because what if they don't like the answers?
Yeah, you're to you, knowledge is, you're indiscriminate about it.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge is knowledge.
Yes. Yes, that basically, as long as it's knowledge and not something that's made up, you can, when you see some things long enough and read enough things, you can probably get an idea of whether or not someone's getting a little opinionated or someone that is actually basing their facts, but wait, what is the reputation of this person or the institution? Be discriminate.
Yeah. Don't think that propaganda is news.
One of the things that, well, I don't really have a fear of, which actually may come as a surprise to some people, another one is death.
I'm not scared of death. I'm scared of dying.
Oh yes, dying hurts.
Yeah.
But as for death, well, considering that I wouldn't feel anything, I suppose that there would be nothing to be afraid of.
I used to be afraid of death until I went through all of this. And now death would just be release. It'd be released from the shell of pain that I live in.
No offense to you or to my family, but if for whatever reason I were to die in a car crash, I would be sad that I would have to leave everyone, but at the same time I would have thought, also for a tiny moment, well, I've had a good life, it's been fun.
Yeah, I can, yeah. I have weird, like, because my mind runs. And I've often thought, like, what if somebody broke in to rob us while you were at work and, like, stabbed me?
Let's find this person and see what is legally in our power of what the most we can do to this person.
We need to get Looper on the phone. So it's like, now it's like, I'm afraid of dying, depending on the dying part. If I get stabbed, you bleed out, you slowly, like, drift away because your blood leaves your body.
Yes.
But if you drown, but drowning in comparison is much worse. My thing I don't want now is if anything happens to me, I don't want you to come home and find me. And if you do, I want it to be as peaceful as possible. I don't want you to come home to, like, me on the floor with, like, a pool of blood underneath me. Like, I don't want my death to scar you.
It would eventually when I would find out.
That's what I'm saying, because you come home from work, walk up the stairs, and then boom, there I was in the kitchen or something with the back door wide open because somebody tried to rob us, and I tried to fight them off, and they stabbed me, and then I've died in a pool of blood.
Yes, with or without the pool of blood, the fact that you are a lifeless corpse now is, well, very traumatic for me.
This video is ending on a very depressing note.
I can add to the conversation. For example, yes, I'm not afraid of death. As for dying, I simply see that as something that hurts.
Yeah.
What gives me some pause, something that I don't want to get close to, is aging.
Ah, okay.
It isn't death that's the problem. It's how I look when I'm dead. That would be the first question that would probably come to my mind.
Okay.
Oh, imagine if you could somehow communicate with the dead. Justin, is there anything else that I can do, or is there anything that you want to say to me? Yes. Is my hair messed up?
No, it was perfect. I made sure of it.
Thank you.
I'm going to watch a movie tomorrow night. Will you be there?
Hopefully I didn't leave in between that.
That's true. That's one thing. If I did die, well, if I did, I'm going to die eventually.
You don't know that. Medical science may advance between now.
Medical science can't fix this, and it's been over 10 years. Medical science is fucked. Well, American medical science is fucked. Because mythology versus science. I talked about that in another video, whatever. I would try and figure out a way to still be around you, to still be with you, in spirit, or in energy, because, like, we're a ball of energy. When we die, the energy has to go somewhere.
Yes, somehow being able to extract the consciousness and put it in some sort of vessel.
Yeah. So if I could still be like with you, passenger.
Yes, though I would think that isn't fair for you to have you trapped in this box.
Well, I don't know if I'd be in that's your construct. I would just be like with you. So aging is the thing that scares you.
Yes, it's part of my equation of self-worth.
Ah, okay. See, I've come to terms with it. Ever since the accidents, I lost myself. And I cover this in other videos on the channel. If you look at pictures of me pre-accident and post-accident, it's vastly different. My hair went gray. I lost my hair very quickly, which is why I shave my head now. Most people do. I look younger with hair. I wish I had hair. Now it would be thinning and all that stuff.
Yes, but at least you look cute with or without hair.
So I've had to come to terms with forcibly this is who I am now. You at least get to do it gracefully. So I guess look at it that way. Like you're not forced into like, you're going to age really fast and you're going to have no choice about it. Well, I don't want to say a diet, just the way we eat promotes aging slowly.
And the fact that we're nocturnal instead of diurnal, those of you who think that you look great in that tan, guess what?
You don't.
Yes, and what's more, when the tan fades, you're going to look even older than before you had the tan.
Words of self-esteem from Justin. So, about the aging part, it was yesterday. Mm-hmm. You texted me while you were shopping. Mm-hmm. And you saw there was a 25th anniversary of Pokemon.
Yes.
And you talk about how you felt old, and you're like, I feel so old, and you're like, make me feel young. And I said, there are still fans of ours, of which thank you very much to all the fans of the page and on Patreon and everything. We appreciate it. We really do. We started out from 0, and we're where we're at now, which is like 400, which is freaking awesome. Mm-hmm. Having patrons on Patreon to talk to and talk back and forth with and share videos with and all stuff. Mm-hmm. I can't even put into words how freaking awesome it is. But someone thought that you were my son. And at this point, if you're watching, I'm not going to name you because there's no need to. I didn't take it personally. It's not the first time, and I get it. I do. I aged very quickly due to all of this. When you're in pain every single day for 12 years, it's going to age you. It did.
I do my best to make life as comfortable as I can.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Like, without you, I don't know where I'd be. And
I prefer not to think about it.
Yeah, like I've always said, if I could travel a better road but still end up with you, mm-hmm. I prefer that. I prefer to be with you, not like this. With a full head of hair and not go. Well, gray doesn't bother me. I think gray is awesome, but losing my hair and all, and getting this and all that stuff, blah blah blah.
Really, I don't blame you if you could somehow choose another path, but yet still somehow manage to end up with me. Because that also would mean that I would end up being with you.
Okay, I thought you were going to go somewhere really, really egocentric with that. They asked if you were my son, and it's been. Some people were like, no. Some people were like, yeah, and I understand both sides. I don't take offense to it because I understand it. I don't feel like that. I would have to be like 9.5 to be his dad. I mean, you can call me daddy if you want, but no, biologically, Justin is not my son. But I said it to make you feel better, and it did.
Yes, it really did make me feel better. Both that despite how close we are in age, mm-hmm. that someone would make that assumption, yes, it may seem shallow, but yes, by bringing that up, it does make me feel better.
The number is just a number. How you look, how you feel is a completely different thing.
Yes, but look on the internet, see a naked 80-year-old man or 100-year-old man. Do you want to have sex with that thing?
I mean, I don't know. How much money do they have?
Oh, so aesthetics isn't as important to you as money is.
If you met an 80-year-old man and he was worth $1 billion...
I think that he would begin to notice why I would be wearing very, very thick sunglasses every time that he would want to get intimate with me. Well, it's because, after a few seconds, I can only stand to see any more of you.
Then you have the lights out. You'd be like, can you turn the lights off, please?
Yes, and at the same time, I would also feel that flabby, wrinkly skin. I'm
glad when I'm 80, you'll also be old too, so you don't treat me like that.
Honey, we live in a world of injections. We don't have to worry about sagging anything.
You are not going to look like you're constantly surprised all the time.
I'm not saying that I'm going to go all the way like Joan Rivers, having cat-looking eyes as my eyes. I do like cats, though. Cat eyes look great on cats.
Yes, on cats. Yeah. All right, let's have this last shot. This has been a very fun, inebriated questions episode 3. I've enjoyed this. And I'm quite inebriated.
And to show that one shot wasn't a fluke, once again, no chaser.
Yeah. He needs a chaser with almost every liquor.
Oh, yes.
Even sake, I think you needed a chaser with.
Yes.
And that was mild.
Although when I was in Japan and had their sake, I actually didn't need it. But then again, considering how long the Japanese have been making it, I think that they would have perfected it enough to not need a chaser.
Yeah. Life goals. I would like to go to Japan and have actual sake in Japan.
Even though the inebriated questions is over, would you actually want to be a bartender or a bar owner?
Yeah, actually. It seems like a really fun job. Well, more bar owner, because I could bartend when I wanted. Like, I would love to be a bar owner, but yeah, even a bartender would be fun. I know I've had bartender friends who just say it's very, very
It could depend upon the night. I do understand that.
Yeah, and also the gender. Most of my bartender friends are female, and I can see dudes getting a little too sauced, and yeah, you don't want that. I'm not saying you're not going to deal with that if you're a dude. I've had male bartender friends, and I've yet to hear a story where they have been through what my female bartender friends have been through. So, but in the end, I would love to own any business that would be guaranteed income. Just like when you asked about the house. I would love to own any house that I owned. I don't have to live in a triplex with fucking stoner, loud, tobacco-smoking college kids.
Well, I suppose if you want a guaranteed source of income, then I suppose a bar would be, because even in those films and shows when society falls apart, one thing that so many of them still want is alcohol. Well, that and sex. What would the theme of the bar be?
Very nerdy and geek. It'd be like D&D, Magic the Gathering. Take nerdy comic book stuff plus bar, and then just like in a blender into one. That's what it'd be.
I would recommend, in this country, either opening it on the East Coast or the West Coast.
But then again, I probably have to open it where I am due to the funds that I would have and the whatever loan I took out from the bank, which I would not be approved for anyway.
Or maybe you found a bartender that took such a liking to you that he decided to actually leave you as an inheritance his business.
Hey, bartender man.
It could happen.
What planet? Planet Nope? Have you seen me? Obviously you have. What bartender is going to leave me their inheritance? The 80-year-old bartender that you won't have sex with because you're too highfalutin, even though they're a billionaire? A billionaire bartender. I don't know where I'm going with this.
That actually would be a very interesting thing. Someone who is a billionaire, but at the same time would prefer the more humble lifestyle of a bartender.
All you have to do is have sex with them and get them to put you in their will. That's all you have to do. It's just sex.
Yes, but usually I like to actually enjoy the sex.
You could have millions of dollars. They're 80.
Yes. So there is a possibility that after having sex with them, they had so much of a good time that when I wake up, he's dead.
Oh my
I've been
God.
sleeping with a dead man.
I think this is a good place to wrap this one up. I don't know what else to say. As I said, this has been very, very fun. Inebriated questions, but we need to turn the air on and the fans on. I am burning the heck up, and my stupid glands are acting a big time.
When it comes to sex, money isn't everything, and I'm not ashamed to say that. Would you accept $1 million if you were dared to have a spoon of 20-year-old mayonnaise and eat it?
How is that even comparable?
Clearly, we have a difference in aesthetics then.
You're getting fucked, not swallowing an 80-year-old dude whose semen is going to taste like semen. We have went off on the rails here. See what you've done?
Maybe this is something that will entertain the audience. Maybe this is why they want to see these videos. To see
you compare 80-year-old men to 20-year-old mayonnaise?
No. Oh, maybe I don't know these people. To see if anything spontaneous will happen in these videos. Well,
I mean-
since
I mean-
alcohol is involved, some sort of spontaneity is bound to happen eventually.
Exactly.
And maybe this is it.
On that note, before Justin digs down instead of up, we're going to wrap up this video. As always, I don't have a fancy outro, so I'll simply say thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, excuse me for not liking walking corpses.
He's a billionaire. Billionaire. You endure the 20-year-old mayonnaise, and at the end, you get freaking the best strawberry and vanilla ice cream you've ever had for life. You are set for life. You had to endure 20-year-old mayonnaise just to have you want for nothing for the rest of your life.
It is something that for many people would be considered tempting. But
Don't even butt me. Unless it's the sexy kind that you have attached to your body.
very well. I think that at this point we're simply rephrasing what we've already said.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, say goodbye.
Goodbye.